Hi Greedy 3Ds, today we're going to be making Robocop from Wicked. I will show you the whole process. I'm going to do it a little bit differently because I'm going to show you the end result first, just to wet your whistle, so to speak. So here we start with old Murphy with his helmet off, and you can see the whole paint job here. I'll talk you through the whole process, how we got to these, and I'll show you that the colours that I used to get this Robocop-y armour look. And we'll have a quick look at what he looks like with his helmet on also. And if you want to get this file, it is from Wicked. As I said, you can join their Patreon or you can buy it directly from Gumroad, and there will be links in the description for you wonderful guys. So this is Robocop, this is old Murphy, and today we're going to be making him all up from that 3D printed model. Make sure you stay tuned. So I'm using Chitterbox, and I'm going to put the model on the plate as you can see here. This is number 1, and number 2 will be his legs and his arms and his pistol. I've printed everything off in JamJ Standard Pro on my Uniformation GK2, and it's all come out absolutely wonderfully. And once it's all been cleaned, I need to cure it, and I'm going to use the Uniformation curing station here, which is something that Uniformation have very kindly sent me, and that is very hypnotic. It's an excellent curing station. I'll put a link in the description where you can get one from, and once everything is cured, you can touch it with your bare hands at this point, which is why I'm picking it out with no gloves on. And there is the start of the process. There's Murphy's head, all printed, all cured and ready to go. Now there he is laid out. Those are the pieces that you will need. The pieces have been printed wonderfully, and everything has been painted in some Chaos Black to prime it. Now I'm using some anthrax metal from Green Stuff World mixed with a little bit of thinner for the base colour of his armour. I debated backwards and forwards what to use for his armour colour, and I tested a few bits and pieces, and this was my favourite of all of them. And this again is a Green Stuff World one. I'll put a link in the description if you want to get hold of it. And all the armour pieces have been given exactly the same base layer of this colour over the Chaos Black primer, and I've left a little bit of the black coming through in certain areas because I'm going to go over it again with shark fin blue now. I just want to give it a light coat of this. I don't want to turn him blue, but I want to give his armour a blue hue, just a blue shimmy, and I'm going to pop this in the airbrush. I've used a bit of thinner with this as well, and I'm just giving it a really light coat just to make your eye think, is that a bit of blue on there? And yes it is, just a little bit of blue. Using some masking tape to protect all that hard work, I need to go over the black again in the areas whereby Robocop's bits and pieces are black, and I've used exactly the same Chaos Black to go over everything. And once everything was masked and Chaos Black was blasted all across it, the masking tape has come off, and that's what we're left with. And there's your contrast colours for old Robocop. There's not a huge amount of colours to go onto him really. It's grey and black, and pretty much that's it. Now this stuff is, in essence, you absolutely need panel liner to do this model. If you haven't got any of these, get some. It is awesome stuff. Again, there'll be a link in the description, but pop it on and you can see it's like an ink, and it just follows the recesses of your model. Watch this bit here at the bottom. You just touch it and it goes down and then separates either way. And what this does is this just makes your areas of the armour stick out a little bit. It makes a natural shadow, a natural recess, and it makes the higher points look higher and the lower points look lower. I love this stuff. I don't know how I ever lasted without this stuff making models. It's brilliant for aging things, for adding little lines in. It's awesome. Now if you splash it on a little bit too thick, or you get a bit you don't want, it just comes straight off. Either use a earbud or use a little bit of kitchen roll just to dab it off. But it's great if you're doing little Warhammer figures. This is great for exaggerating all those little nuts and bolts and grooves and dents in them, and you can see me there just doing exactly that on some recesses on his armour. Again, for the OCP bit on his leg, I've plastered this on really thick into that so that this black will fall into the OCP. Watch what happens here. It looks a bit OTT there, but once we get a bit of kitchen roll and wipe off the excess, it just means that you can see the lettering of the words really clearly, and that is what it is all about. So you can see that, and that looks awesome. I'm really chuffed with how that looks. I'm going to go around the inside edge again just to make it stick out a little bit more, and Wow, I love panel liner. Now I'm going down the whole model with it. This was again a bit of a labour of love. It took me a long time. I've gone over absolutely everything because I think everything needs to be gone over with this. And once you've done it, it's a very relaxing process. The difference is astounding and it really is wonderful stuff. Make sure you get hold of some. It's not the easiest thing to find. I'll try and put a link in the description, but you know what you're looking for. You might have to try the old eBay if you can't get it on Amazon, but wonderful stuff. Use it all the time on most of my models. Now, if you want to support the channel, you can do it a number of ways. Please subscribe to the channel. Think about joining our Patreon, or if you want to buy anything you see, grab it from the item description, guys. Plate mail metal is what I'm going to use now, and I'm just going to pop it on a dry brush, and I'm going to give a load of it a dry brush over, just especially all the black bits, just to make them look also like they're made of metal and a bit aged and a little bit battered. That includes his gun, obviously, his arms, and I've gone over the whole of him, including his abdomen and his legs, and everything that's got black on will have a little bit of a metallic shimmy to it. I've done exactly the same with the base. I wanted to keep the base pretty much black because I think he will stand out a lot better on this base. So all I've done really is gone over some of the edges with it with a little bit of a silver dry brush, and that's it. Nothing fancy, nothing special with this base at all, and that's done. Simple, easy. Let's not make life more complicated. I've glued him on the bottom part anyway, and you can start to see what he is looking like now, and I'm really pleased with the way he's coming out, but he seems to be missing something. He seems to be missing a head, or in Wicked's case, he's actually missing 2 heads. So let's remedy that and get those heads done. Now obviously we're going to need to pop some skin layers on there. So I'm going back to my old faithful Nomad Flesh from the Army Painter, and I'm going to splodge this straight across the black base layer. I'm going to make sure I cover all the base layer of this. I want this colour to be the base coat of skin. There's all sorts of ways you can do skin. You can use pink underneath, you can use a reddy colour underneath. I'm going to just use this colour over black, and I am happy with how he comes out, so I'm okay. But there's a shed load of ways to paint skin, but I'll try to keep it simple for you guys rather than make it all over complicated. So I'm just putting this base layer on, and once that is all on there, on both the heads of course, I'm just going to take the layer up a notch, and I'm going to use some Vallejo basic skin tone, and I'm going to add a little bit of thinner in it, and I'm just going to aim from above down as if it is the direction the light would be coming, a kind of skin zenithal if you will, and I'm just going to paste that down there, and he is done and finished. I'm not doing any more with the skin tones on this guy. I'm not washing it, I'm not doing anything else. I'm going to keep it as simple as I can so that you guys don't have to worry and fret about skin tones, and you'll see that they've come out absolutely fine. Now the other thing I'm using is the panel liner across his head, and as you can see I've also painted his visor black, and I've just put a little bit of a skin colour on his lips there, and that is his head done and dusted and all finished. I think it's about time we had a close look at the heads. Let's have a look now. So there's the head, just to talk you through the process. You can see that I've put all the panel liner on so it shows the OCP police a little bit more, and I've put a little bit of browny pink on his lips just to show them off, and a little bit of Vallejo clear, and I've also put some Vallejo clear on his visor, and I'm going to call that part of the head done. Moving on to Murphy. I am really pleased how Murphy's come out. All I've done with this, you saw me do the skin tones earlier. I've done the face the way that I normally do faces. I've done nothing any different to that, using the same colours. Check out my previous videos if you want to see how I do the faces. Colours are pretty much the same. I've just give it some silver dry brushing around the back and put some panel liner on, but I'm really pleased how Murphy has come out on there. There's a little bit of a bullet stuck in his head there, which I've painted. That I really think that's wonderful. So that's the heads done and dusted. So now it's time to check out the finished Robocop.